Hello students, once again I welcome you all in this online class of science. And students, as you all know, we are discussing about acids, bases and salts. In the previous sessions we have discussed about acids and bases, the common characteristics and examples as well as their uses. Now in continuity students, today we are going to discuss about the neutral substances and the indicators as well as the neutralization reactions. So what are the neutral substances? We have discussed after tasting, you have done the activity of tasting also. So after tasting the edible substances, you concluded that some are acidic, some are basic. Now those substances which are neither acidic and nor basic, they are called the neutral substances. For example, the sugar solution, the salt solution, distilled water, because if you taste them, they are neither acidic and nor basic. So, they are neutral ones. Now, the next thing is the indicators. Now, what are these substances? These are the substances which change their color in acidic and basic solutions. They are the indicators which indicate something. So if they change the color in acidic medium, they are indicating that this is acid. And if they change the color in basic medium, they indicate that this is base. So they indicate that whether the substance is acid or base or neutral. There are so many examples because we have natural as well as man-made indicators like litmus, turmeric, China rose petals. These are some naturally occurring indicators. Means we are not making, these are natural ones. Now again a brief about the litmus, that is a natural indicator. We have discussed so far in the previous session about the litmus paper. Yes, it is most commonly used indicator, that is litmus. It is extracted from lichens. It has a purple color, that is mauve color in distilled water. When added to an acidic solution, it turns red, and when added to basic solution, it turns blue. It will be in the form of solution or in the form of strips of paper. In the lab it is there, I will show you, and it is known as litmus paper. Generally it is available as red and blue litmus paper. Now there are some other examples. Already I have told you turmeric, China rose and phenolphthalein. Out of this turmeric you have at home also. Now litmus in acid, it changes the color from blue to red, and base, it changes the color from red to blue. Just keep this in your mind. Next is the neutralization process. Now what is that? When an acid and a base, they react, that process is called neutralization reaction. Now I am explaining you the process of neutralization. If we take some dilute HCl in a test tube and we add 2-3 drops of phenolphthalein, that is an indicator, the solution will be colorless. Then we add dilute sodium hydroxide solution to it, drop by drop, and stir it. By continuously adding sodium hydroxide, the solution becomes pink in color. When this acidic solution is mixed with suitable amount of base solution, it becomes a neutral solution. This activity proves that. So if you get an activity to explain neutralization reaction, you can explain this activity. But apart from this, naturally also we have many examples of neutralization in our day-to-day life. And you know students, salts are formed when the acid and base reacts. That is, acid plus base gives out the salt and water. Just now I explained you the activity. HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, when reacts with sodium hydroxide, that is a base, they form sodium chloride, that is a salt. Okay. So just keep in your mind, acid and base together form the salt and water. Now the neutralization reactions in everyday life. First is indigestion. Many times we have discussed when we feel acidity. If the stomach produces too much of HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, it causes indigestion. Now it can be neutralized by taking an antacid. Tablets are there in market, or like milk of magnesia, which is basic. Or we can have digene or eno. These are all bases. So how they react? Because we have the acid in the stomach and we take the bases in form of antacid or any other solution. So when this acid and base react, they neutralize and we get relief from the acidity. Next example of neutralization in everyday life is ant sting. You know, when an ant bites, it injects formic acid, correct? Now it can be neutralized by applying the baking soda, because acid plus base, salt. So we get relief. When we have an ant sting or wasp sting, your elders used to tell you apply baking soda. Why? Because you will get relief from the pain, because acid and base together will form the salt. Neutralization will occur. Next example is of soil treatment. Plants do not grow well if the soil is too acidic or too basic. Now how they become too acidic or too basic? Yes, by the use of fertilizers or pesticides, right? If the soil is acidic, it can be neutralized by adding quicklime, that is calcium oxide, or slag lime, that is calcium hydroxide, which are basic. So when the acidic soil treated with base, neutralization reaction and the soil becomes neutral. Now if the soil is acidic, it can be neutralized by adding organic matter also, which releases the acids if it is base. Now the next example of neutralization in everyday life is factory waste. You know factory waste, they are having all sort of acids and bases, different types of garbages, their waste is there. They are sent into the water bodies, contain acids which can kill fishes and other organisms. So now before treating, they are treated with if the waste is acidic, it is treated with bases so that it becomes neutral and the water bodies, the organisms in the water bodies won't get affected. Same ways, if the waste is base, it is treated with some acid before putting it into the water bodies, because it will not affect the organisms, aquatic ones, right? So it can be neutralized by adding the basic substances or the acidic substances accordingly. So these are all the neutralization reactions in your everyday life, and just keep them in your mind because these are very important. As you know, real life examples always works. So I can ask you anytime regarding this. Apart from these, you can think about other neutralization in everyday life also, and you can come up with that. Okay students? So that's it with the chapter. The exercises I will be uploading. So please do complete the work and get it right. Till the next time, thank you and have a great day.